The Vikings were fierce warriors from Scandinavia. They came from Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. Their ships, called longships, were fast and strong. Vikings raided many parts of Europe. They were known for their brutality and strength. The Vikings were also skilled craftsmen. They made beautiful jewelry and weapons. Their artwork often featured animals and mythical creatures. The Vikings had a rich culture with their own gods and stories. The Vikings were a seafaring people. They were skilled sailors and navigators. This allowed them to travel far and wide. The Vikings reached parts of Europe that others could not. The Vikings were active for centuries. Their raids began around 800 AD. Their influence lasted for hundreds of years. The Vikings left their mark on history. They are remembered for their raids, but also for their culture and skills. The Vikings left their homelands for many reasons. One reason was overpopulation. Scandinavia was becoming crowded. There was not enough good farmland for everyone. Vikings needed to find new places to live. Another reason was political unrest. Scandinavia was divided into many small kingdoms. These kingdoms were often at war with each other. Some Vikings left to escape the fighting. They sought a more peaceful life elsewhere. The Vikings were also driven by a thirst for wealth. They had heard stories of the riches in other lands. Raiding offered a way to gain quick riches. The Vikings were not afraid to take what they wanted. Finally, the Vikings were explorers at heart. They were curious about the world. They wanted to see new places and meet new people. Their voyages took them to the far corners of the known world. The Vikings were more than just raiders. They were also explorers and settlers. They established settlements across Europe and beyond. The Vikings were drawn to new lands and opportunities. The Vikings sailed to Iceland and Greenland. They were the first Europeans to settle these harsh lands. The Vikings adapted to the challenging conditions. They built homes and farmed the land. The Vikings even reached North America. They landed in Newfoundland, Canada around the year 1000 AD. They established a settlement called L'Anse aux Meadows. This shows how far the Vikings traveled. The Vikings were skilled traders. They established trade routes across Europe and Asia. They traded goods such as furs, timber, and slaves. Viking trade brought wealth to Scandinavia. It also connected Scandinavia to the wider world. The Viking Age had a lasting impact on Europe and beyond. The Vikings left their mark on the lands they explored and settled. Their influence can still be seen today. The Vikings influenced the English language. Many English words have Viking origins. Words like berserk, skull, and knife all come from Old Norse. The Vikings also influenced place names. Many towns and villages in England have Viking names. The Vikings also had a lasting impact on shipbuilding. Their longships were technological marvels. They were fast, maneuverable, and seaworthy. The Vikings' shipbuilding skills influenced later ship designs. The Vikings were skilled storytellers. Their sagas tell tales of their adventures and beliefs. These sagas have been passed down through generations. They offer insights into Viking culture and history. Today, the Vikings continue to fascinate us. Their legacy lives on in our language, place names, and stories.